gentlemen, it's that time again. It's Tuesday. It's the PD Skillz Show. Today, my guest, 1/3 of the Pro Wrestling Ontario Trios champions, Scumbag Yates. Welcome to the show, you beautiful motherfucker.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too fucking bad. How about yourself, man?
Not too bad. It was Monday. I had a day off. I just did some dishes and nothing else for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So have you been keeping up on the fucking Facebook drama the last couple days?
Oh, fuck. It's been ridiculous. I just had to post up in one group talking about those. I don't know if you saw the IWF show that happened on Saturday in Dublin.
Yeah, I heard 15 people and 5 trained wrestlers, and none of them got paid.
Yeah. It was just funny because the building that they ran in was a building that we ran in as SKM in there, and
I had a feeling.
Yeah, and yeah, they actually just started messaging Chris DiCarvello, who's part of me with it, and just started threatening him and saying like, "Oh, if you fuck with us at Dunville, you're gonna be fucking gone," and blah blah, all this shit. And like
the venue?
No, threatening us.
Oh my god,
the guys that were running, yeah, the IWF guys
threatened if you guys ran again.
Yeah, like, oh, if you guys fuck with our shows, you will be doing anything at Dunville, blah 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 blah. It's like,
oh my god, fucking drama. Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of it. Obviously with the 2 shows running in August 29th, there's been a lot of drama between those two.
Oh yeah, like the two companies that like people have said before like are not that good, and now more people are talking about it. It's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Now, let's get into some random questions here. So I know obviously we're getting back into wrestling, but you've kept pretty busy during the pandemic, whether it be, you know, closed set tapings and the video gaming thing. So we'll start with that. Tell us a little bit about your gaming.
All right. So yeah, that was all really a whim kind of thing. It first started out that we were doing Twitch. Started off with BMD, Matt Grant, JT Kurt,
yep,
and a couple other guys, and they were doing Twitch streams, and I was playing Among Us with them. And
yeah, I played a few with you, just not on the Twitch streams. I don't think.
Yeah, with Warhead and Jesse Mack and all of them. So that was the one group. Like I was part of a couple groups with Among Us. There are some guys in the States I played with, but with that group in particular, with BMD and them, it's like we started playing, and then John Greed started a Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Kingdom, Captain Dirty Beard, Nathan Savage, Travis.
Big shout out to John Greed. Big shout out to John Greed taking out the motherfucking trash today.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so they all started, and I had like a lot of money saved up because of me working overtime, because during pandemic there was nothing much to do. So
right,
I was like, you know, screw it, I'm gonna go and do my own setup and start all that stuff. Now recently I haven't been doing a lot of Twitch streams just because I was supposed to move out of my parents' basement at the end of July, but the renovations were done, so hopefully by the end of this month I'll be out. But yeah, no, the Twitch stream has been fun. It's a great way to talk to community people and whatnot, wrestling fans and video games.
Yeah, 100%. Now, like, how, like, do you get any good conversations? Like, because while you're gaming, like, how easy is it to hold a conversation while you're gaming? Like, I know me, like, I can't do 2 things at once. I'm fucked.
Well, it's it works out because I have a 2 monitor system. Like, I'm looking at one, which the video I'm looking with you right now is the one I play games on.
Yeah.
Then I have another one over here that shows the chat and whatnot. So sometimes you have to, while you're playing the game, take a quick look, and then you can try to talk with them while playing the game and whatnot. A little bit of multitasking, but yeah, you can have some good conversations in there. I've had some like lengthy conversations on there. The one stream where I ate the hot chicken wings after that March Madness thing, I had people coming in. I remember
that. I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I had people in there talking shit to me with there, but I mean, I found that hilarious. I think one guy says like, "This is guy on high cholesterol eating wings." I'm like, "Fuck, that was a good one."
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Like, yeah, no problem. Now,
Good.
do you find does a lot of the wrestling community follow you over there? Or is it like kind of its own demon?
Some of the wrestling community does follow.
Yeah, because I know I always try and drop in on everybody's channels once in a while. I'm like a fucking creep. Like I'll just drop in and be like, "Oh, what's so and so up to?" If I get called out, they're like, "Oh, Skillz is here." I'm like, "All right, I'll say something." But
yeah, like pretty much mostly like the group that I play with. So like Greed and Freddie Mercurio and those guys will watch my stream. There's a couple guys that don't wrestle that do. But I think it's like just a mixture of half and half. Some of them are, people that I know from wrestling, and other people are just random people jumping in, seeing the stream and liking it and talking to me about it. So
now flip side of that, has the Twitch stream, like, because I've asked if the Twitch stream gets any attention from your already existing wrestling base. Has your Twitch stream created any additional wrestling base where it's someone who kind of checks you out on Twitch and then goes, shit, this guy's also a wrestler?
No. No, like when it comes to viewers, I usually average about 5 or 10.
Okay.
So, and most of them are just other people that I play with. So
okay,
I haven't, but I think the more that I stream, once I get into the new place and start streaming a lot more regularly, it might something happen, but I'm not 100% sure. It's just one of those things that, like, I'm not looking at it to make money because I have made $0 from it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The only money I make on the PD Skillz Show is off the t-shirt sales. I don't do any things that have ability to support. Like, I don't select that my shit's for kids because it's not. So there goes a bunch of fucking potential ad revenue.
Yeah.
I put that my shit's explicit because it is. So there goes ad revenue. It's all t-shirts over here. I mean, it's passion, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing with my Twitch. I put it to a mature audience because I don't swear a lot on there, but I do sometimes. So
but it happens.
Like,
and I'm sure you might like to fucking smoke a dart or two while you're playing and all that shit.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, they don't mind about with the smoking the cigarettes, but when it comes to smoking pot on there, they get kind of iffy. But Twitch, the Twitch TOS is very sketchy at times.
Oh, that's everybody's TOS. I mean, even Facebook, like when shout outs to Facebook. Thanks for approving all my shirt designs and understanding that I'm not a drug dealer. I'm a drug doer.
Thanks.
I had to actually message them and be like, listen, like, because they banned all my designs because they thought I was selling marijuana.
Right. And yet that guy was running shows that he had to pay with marijuana.
Yeah.
Good old Facebook.
Fucking unreal. Now is that something you've considered as far as like actually taking your Twitch and making, like, kind of incorporating it and trying to get the wrestling and all that together? Because I mean, obviously there's a video component. You are who you are. You've made some over the course of the quarantine. You've made some changes in your look that make you stand out as as a performer and as a character, whether it be on Twitch or anything. Have you ever thought of maybe doing something a little more formatted and advertising it to get your name out there?
Not really. Like, originally I just kind of want to keep it separate from the wrestling, just like, this is me and I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
Talking to you, that kind of stuff. Kind of like, I know he's under contract, but Adam Cole does that because he has his Twitch, which is completely separate from the wrestling.
I've watched it a couple times in brief, just because, like, just clips that come across online, like not actually sat and watched one of his live streams, but like, I'm sure people ask him wrestling related questions.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I don't want it to be tied into like necessarily like, oh, what shows you got coming up and all that, but like really like it's Scumbag Yates, because I mean I've seen you as Little Pooker and stuff like that.
Yeah, the original was Little Pooker, which was my old Xbox gaming tag and what all my other stuff used to be.
Yep.
And then when I was doing more Twitch streams, Lucha Freddy and Kingdom actually came up and were telling me, it's like, hey, it's like your Twitch, your Instagram, and Facebook are all under Scumbag Yates. It's like, but your Twitch is only Little Pooker.
Yeah.
It's like, think of it like this is your advertisement kind of thing. Like, either change. It's like, I would recommend either changing all three of them into one or just the one into one, just so they're all just connected and whatnot. So
yeah.
That's why I end up changing it to Scumbag Yates, because easier to change 1 than 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if it, like I will be advertising my Twitch once I get back rolling into it, overall my social medias, but I will probably do some things wrestling there. Like I might show old clips of SKM shows on there, or maybe some of my old matches if I really want to, but it's my gaming channel. I want to mostly focus on gaming, because that's one of the other things I love doing as well. Playing games, talking with people, and wrestling. So
what are some of your favorite games?
I've been playing a lot
Like, not even just now, like all time. Like I want to hear like
all the time. It was a lot of like platformer kind of games. So growing up, like I first started off with NES and Game Boy, so and Sega. So it's like, you know, Mario, Legend of Zelda, Sonic. I'm a huge fan of BioShock. Played all 3 games and loved all 3 of them. One game I recently just played called Honey Pop 2, which is completely different. It's a dating sim puzzle game.
that's way different.
Yeah, I played the first game, and
although dating kind of is a puzzle, so is it really a puzzle game or is it just AR?
Pretty much it's Candy Crush, and you just go around trying to have sex with multiple cartoon girls. That's pretty much what the game is.
Fuck. Unreal.
Yeah, but yeah,
Did
like
you stream that one on Twitch?
No, because obviously it's way mature for
and I've asked mixed things, because I've asked people like when it comes to Twitch and their terms of service. I'm like, because they'd be like, oh Tim, why don't you do Twitch? There's more like, it's hotter right now, like than the YouTube thing, I've been told. And I'm like, I don't know, like, because I see their terms of service like really being an issue for me. Like I like to cuss and smoke pot and talk about stupid shit. So
I mean, there is a lot of that. Like Twitch is it is bigger now, because there's a lot more variety of stuff out there now than it was when it first started. Because when it first started, it was just games, like just people that were game streaming and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and now you got the chats and all that stuff. So you might be able to get through with it. I know I've definitely seen a couple where someone will just have like a big blunt and just roll it out and just talk shit.
I got in, you know what? My big thing for getting into Twitch is when I started first realizing that like some of the wild shit people were doing, like when the riots were going on, there was one Twitch channel that literally had like 10 different news stations at once, all on the screen in every city. And I'm like, holy shit, like there's people that are doing all kinds of shit on here.
Oh yeah, like it's a lot of it, like some of it is super interesting. Like some, like Uncle Joe, if you ever watched that stuff, that guy's a fucking maniac, and I love him for it. But then there's other things like the whole ASMR thing and the hot tub streams and all that stuff. So you have like one extreme of one and one extreme of the other. So
but so let's get into some fucking wrestling. So I met you through doing Death Proof and No Limits wrestling shows, to the best of my knowledge.
Yep. And I think we hung out the one time at an HWE show up in wherever. I remember I did sound for them once.
I was gonna say it wouldn't have been HWE, because I've never been to one of their shows. I've never been to anything like any Hamilton wrestling.
Not the Hamilton wrestling one, the Huron.
Oh, Huron wrestling, yes. Oh,
yeah, the Huron wrestling one.
I forget. See, it's getting to the point where people have there's like, and it's not even a knock on people. Like we're running out of initials and names.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that one too. So was sound kind of your like foot in the door for wrestling?
So that also was kind of a whim as well, because before I started getting greenlit, besides setting up the show, like setting up the ring and whatnot, it's like, what else can I do? Well, I know somewhat a little bit about sound, and I have a computer so I can play sound and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then Rip had this old fucking soundboard from the 80s where like 3 of the channels out of 20 only worked, and they were also sketchy. So then I just went, fuck it, I'm getting my own shit.
Yeah.
So I started getting my own small, like simple shit. And then, yeah, from there. And then it's like, I just doing sound. And I'm like, well, I can do other shows sound. And that could be a way to get into companies as well. It's how I started wrestling with Greektown. It's how I got into MCW.
Yeah.
NSW, like with these companies, is like sound was a way for me to get in.
Now be real. Tell me the truth. Does being the sound man get you out of being one of the ring crew?
No. I still do the teardown and setup. Like,
You're a fucking man.
There are times like I will miss setup because either at work or if I wake up late, to be perfectly honest. But I always try to get at least half of the ring teardown if I can, and then tear down my stuff, because my stuff takes like 5 minutes to tear down.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's just all a bunch of unplugging and packing it.
Props to you for not milking it. I won't lie, I'd probably milk it. I'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta get all the sound done. I guess I can't do the rang.
Yeah, like as soon as it gets to a point of like, even with the setup, like it gets to a point where it's like you only need like one or two people to do it. Then it's like, okay, now you gotta go set up my stuff, which is gonna takes 5
minutes. Which HWE show did you do the sound for? The one I separated my shoulder.
I think, was it you and no? I can't remember.
Was it me and
with
Carew?
You and Quan? No, it wasn't you and Carew, because I don't remember him being there.
Oh, me and Atlantis?
Maybe.
That's the only matches I've had there.
Someone who
I had Carew, and that's when I separated my shoulder, and then I had Atlantis.
So it must have been the Atlantis one, because I think I remember the show. It was with Holden versus Quan.
Yeah.
So I think that was the same show. I only did the one. So
you know what was fucked up about one of those shows? Because like the promoter had to leave, and like basically asked who the vets were. Like this to basically
really?
Leave someone to like talk about the show and keep things organized. And the vets were like Quan and me. I was like, and it was Chris, it was Champ Monkey. It was Champ Monkey Chris that pointed it out. And I looked at him like, don't ever point me out as a vet again, man. Like, no, like even when I'm the vet in the room, I don't want to be. Like, I'm not that guy.
That was the show then. That was that. I forgot that she had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only
Chris
show.
Tried to throw me under the vet bus. I was like, no thanks. I'm like, it's cool to know that, like, you know, I've reached that status, but no thanks. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy you want running your show. Your show will be fucking terrible.
Well, I mean, like, he knows you guys the longest, so that's probably why he immediately went to you guys first and just went, yeah.
Oh, I was just like, yeah, fine, Quan, and like just to keep things organized, like who was doing what, and you know, the order of the, like making sure no one had duplicate finishes and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, she did message me for another show, but we'll see what happens, because I know
you never know.
Yeah, because she did message me before for a show, and it's just like it didn't happen. So I don't know if next one's gonna happen, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's been like that though too, right? So we'll see how that all goes with everybody. Now, you like obviously I'm in the 90s. You were like, you trained with Rip, right?
Yes.
I've been getting a lot of Rips guys lately, which is nice. What had gotten you really into wrestling, aside like obviously being a fan of wrestling, but like at what point did you personally get into wrestling to wrestle, not just as a fan?
So when I was younger, when I was 18, I wanted to go into wrestling, but back then, this would have been like 2007, 2008.
Okay.
I didn't really know a bunch of the schools. I only knew of one that was in Cambridge.
Yeah, Rip wasn't open at that point yet, was he?
No.
Yeah, because that was only like he was green around the same time I was green, and so he wouldn't have been at that point. He wouldn't have been doing it yet.
Yeah, like I didn't know about, because I think Square Circle was doing training at that time in Toronto.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that, and the one in Hamilton, UWA, I didn't know about that either. I just knew about the Cambridge one. But that school closed down. I was playing rugby, so I didn't even think about become a wrestler. And then when I came back from Halifax from living there for 4 years, started running shows with Chris and Shane with SKM.
Mhm.
And after the third show, it was just kind of like, well, Rip has a school. It's like, do I want to do this now? Or it was pretty much, do I want to do it or not? It's either that I'm going to go in and do it fully, or I'm not going to do it at all.
How old are you now?
I turned 32 in October.
Oh, fuck, tons of time.
Yeah. So I was 27 or 28 when I first started training. So it's like, again, it was like I was a little bit older. My body is beat up from sports in the past.
Yeah.
So again, it was
life.
Just life. So it's just like either do this fully or not do it at all. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it and see what happens. And I've been pretty happy with like all the opportunities I've been getting so far in these past 3 years.
Well, like we said at the start of this show, 1/3 of the PWO Trios champions. Now, how did that come up as a trios team?
So
because I love the dynamic, for the record. It's just, even in still frame pictures, there's something about it that gives me a giggle.
Yes. So when I first started PWO, I debuted in a singles match, me, Chris Logan, and JT, which was, and they will all agree as well, it was an absolute shit match.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did a trios with Chris Logan, Evan Greenway, myself, with Jeff Goodrich as a manager. And then that dissolved. And then they came up to me as like, we kind of have this idea. Have you and Arrow and Forte be a team and kind of do like, not try to do like a culty kind of thing, but like you're the heel and you're trying to influence these two guys to turn heel and whatnot. And then after we're discussing, it's like we did a little changing of it. We had Reese Greenaway for a manager, and now he's not a part of it, I guess. Might have someone else come in, but yeah, it just all kind of, we have this idea, let's go with it. And then all three of us, plus with the promoters at PWO, try to come up with the best way to do it. And like, it's been working so far. So I don't know exactly all the plans in the future, but I was even surprised to get the titles as quickly as we got them.
Oh, well, there's something about the team that clicks.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to trios, like if you find that right person that doesn't necessarily always have to blend with the other two, but accents them in the right way.
Yeah. Like one of the things that we changed was just like what the roles were in the team. So like I'm the heel. Yeah. I'm going to do all the dirty shit. You have Arrow in the middle. That's the tweener almost. Like he's on both sides. And you have Forte as a pure baby face. And he doesn't want to do the cheap stuff and all that stuff. So it's like I'm influencing Arrow to try to do more cheap stuff, and Forte telling them, no, don't do it. So it's a really cool dynamic and an interesting dynamic as well. So
that's some, like, I feel like if you reverse the polarity in that, if Forte was like the heel and you were the super baby face, I almost feel like that would be some sort of trios version of like a Rock and Sock connection.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like if it ever went like that way and it reversed, like, because then you'd have the rough around the edges like face guy, and then the more proper wrestling heel, like as the heel, and then Arrow kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah,
Tyler in the middle.
It was funny too because the first that triple threat match I had, I was actually a babyface in that match because like JT is obviously heel with Empire, and Chris Logan has been working heel, and it's like I've done babyface for PWA stuff. It's like I'll be the babyface of this, whatever. We'll see what happens. And all I did was just say wrestling. That's all I said during my match, and people liked it.
Chris Logan on character now, fucking shout outs to fucking Cutsy, is an animal. He makes me laugh.
It's ridiculous what he's doing now in like a good way.
Yeah, like I think he's like, and a lot of people say like even like the New Day, they were like, you don't get success until you find that like don't give a fuck switch where it's like just do you.
Yeah. I mean, that's most of the successful people is like it's just them just notched up just a little bit.
Yeah. Now you've got obviously the show coming up for them. What's the date and venue for that?
So that is September 19th. It's a sports complex out there in Burlington. It is a outdoor show. I can't remember the name of it, to be perfectly honest with you, but I know it's September 19th.
There you go. September 19th. I'm sure they'll find the venue if they looked up the date and Pro Wrestling Ontario, and we could put this massive misinformation behind us.
Yes, exactly. Hey, Champion's a good promoter, you know?
Yeah, hey.
September 19th in someplace in Burlington.
Hey, well, I mean, you're a fucking scumbag, right? So, I mean,
yeah.
get what you motherfucking asked for. Now, aside from the PWO, do you got anything else lined up coming up since everything's opened up?
So I just did NSW on Sunday. So there was that. I have MCW coming up in Brantford. That is September 12th, I believe. I think it's a week before PWO. I have to double check on that. But that's at Brantford Knights of Columbus. And pretty much any NSW show that will be happening, I will be there. So right now, just NSW, MCW, and PWO at the moment.
So the hot topic of the day, what are you going to do to combat the Fuck Yates tour?
I don't know.
Rex Atkins, the Fuck Yates tour.
How
the fuck did that start out? Like, what did you do?
So, it kind of just started off as a joke. We would play poker on Thursdays on Kingdom Stream, and Rex was a part of it. And I remember I would just give him a couple jabs because he always used to say on his podcast, like, oh, I don't get booked here. I don't get booked here, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I did a couple jokes saying, like, oh, I'm just going to take your book. Like, I think the joke that set it off was he was saying, like, he's going to take my ex-girlfriend in Burlington, which I don't live in Burlington. I don't have an ex-girlfriend there. So I was like, oh, you can take my ex-girlfriend. I'll take your bookings, blah, blah. And then he just like, you don't think I can get bookings? You don't think I can get bookings? So he's doing all of this to spite me, even though he said on podcast, he doesn't even want to do half of them. he said that. He's like, I'm just doing this all
so
to
he just
spite
took
you.
bookings to be like, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is. But it's funny. I actually gave him a gift on Sunday because he came down to do a podcast about Eric.
Yeah.
Because Eric kind of matched Del Bruno, and the whole podcast was about how much shit that like, is he gonna die? Is Eric Carney gonna die? And I had this it's a People Magazine issue of Chris Benoit after the murder suicide thing. Yeah. And he talks about it on his podcast as well. So I gave it to him and honestly looked like he was about to cry. He was like, hey, I got a present for you. And he's like, what is it? I gave him the magazine. He's like, really? Like, you're really giving this to me? I'm like, yeah. It's like, you talk about it all the time. It's like, I figured this would be perfect for you. And he's like, oh man, thank you so much. And blah, blah.
Their show all the time. I hear his music cued in, like there'll just be a general conversation and there's the I'm like, fuck.
But like, yeah, and then on his podcast, of course, I
gotta get Eric on here actually.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
he's absolutely hilarious to have on podcast. And surprised he didn't die at NSW. He was able to make it through, survived. He didn't get bloated.
There you go. Or not too bloated to finish. I mean, everybody gets it.
I mean, he got a little tired because it was super hot. But I mean,
was it outdoor?
What's that?
Was it outdoor?
Yeah, it was an outdoor show.
But I mean, he spent, he just did a whole camp training for his basketball game with Rex. So I mean, he was probably coming in hot.
That's what I said with Rex is like, he said he did good with him. It's like, well, he also won the basketball game, and then he just turns around and goes, you know what? Fuck you, Yates. You know what? But yeah, no, it was fun. Like, I consider it great for me because it's free advertisement for me.
Yeah.
I'm on his social media and I don't have to do really anything. He just does all the work for me. So I got my mug plastered all over his social media.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's doing you a favor, and you're doing him a favor. You lit a fire under his ass, and he's putting your face and name everywhere.
Yeah, he has a show this Friday. Is it Friday? Yeah, this Friday at Pro Wrestling Eclipse in Oshawa, and it's him versus Tarek, and he is scared because he's just like I don't know if I'm gonna be ready for this match, and like Eric
punch, kick, chop, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And like Eric, Kenny, and Lenny are all just looking at him. It's like Tarek's gonna beat the shit out of you. He's just like, yep, yep.
The way it's the way she goes sometimes. I'm looking forward to my match at the end of the month. My opponent hasn't been announced, so I mean I'm not gonna give it away, but
for No Ring North.
Yeah, I'm gonna smack the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, that's what we have to do, right?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking great. Now you've been obviously you've been wrestling for a little bit now. You've gotten some championship gold on you, some matches of all different types, some last minute 3-ways, some actually planned out matches, a storyline that didn't come to fruition that got me a W once upon a time. Along that journey, who are some of the guys that have been really big positive influences on you from our scene?
So I've said this on other podcasts as well. The 3 guys that have either influenced me or I've had really good matches with have been Warhead, Jeff Black, and Evan Greenaway. Warhead, we had our matches at PWA 365, depending on what time frame you're looking at. That's where I actually won the Pure Violence Championship away from Warhead. We had a lot of fun with those matches, and they were always great. Warhead also gave me the opportunity with the man Lucha being Joey Ryan's penis during the Survivor Series week.
Yeah, so I remember when you were Joey Ryan's penis.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
It's cool that he got canceled, but his penis didn't. It's good you're here, man.
Hey, I'm just waiting for it to get canceled. So at some point, someone's gonna find something. So yeah, Warhead has been super awesome to me. Jeff Black, we've always had also good matches as well, and he has also taught me a lot of good things as well. Obviously with Rip as well, he taught me a lot of good things as well. But every match I had with Jeff has been super fun, super easy, and has been fun. And with Evan, same thing. Every match I've had with him, as everyone has always praised and always has liked it, and same thing.
And you did this with Evan, right?
What? Sorry,
with Greenway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Evan Greenway. We've had a couple matches at different promotions, and everyone had always said that they were great, and I always find them to be fun as well. So
he's come up a couple times on my podcast now, so I guess that's and I've watched a couple of his matches. I do enjoy him.
Oh yeah. He's
a younger guy too, right?
Yeah. He actually started training when he was, I think, 13.
Okay, I had a feeling he was super young.
Yeah,
so he'll be around for a long fucking time. That's good.
Yeah, I think he's 24 now. He's super young, but yeah, he started training with Rip when he was 13. So he has a long time experience, and it definitely shows in his matches.
Oh, that's good. He's one of Rip's guys too, right? Yeah, so and that's good. He's been producing a lot of good guys that I've been super impressed with, and they get their names out there, and I haven't heard a lot of people have a bad thing to say about many of Rip's students. I mean, super respectful. I wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's what Rip will tell you. He teaches you to go out and help out with shows and whatnot. So, because that's how he started out, with PWA. He started off selling tickets and helping out with the ring, then concession and all that stuff until he started wrestling. So, yeah, he implemented that as hey, you guys try to help out as much as possible. And yeah, like all the kids that have come out have been doing great stuff from HPW. Like Johnny DeLuca has been doing great.
Yeah.
Chris Logan has been doing some good stuff. Evan, Mike Forte, Tyler Arrow. Like a lot of the RIP students have been going out and doing great stuff. Safe Travis has been killing it.
Yeah.
Right now, like it's crazy that
Travis is trying everything. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy that a lot of the shows that you see have a lot of HPW students in it too. Like,
well, and you know what? That's
the Hamilton shows.
Yeah, especially like the Hamilton shows. Like that's almost kind of like on obviously a completely different scale. Like when I watch WrestleMania now, and I'm like, wow, like every match had an NXT talent. Like from and that's their developmental, right? So like I see all these shows in Hamilton, and I'm like you don't have a Hamilton show without a RIP student. It just you don't see it.
Yeah, and it's like HPW students are going all over the place as well. Like you have some now in Barrie and some that are going to Oshawa and Toronto and Kitchener. Like it's crazy to think when you take a look at all the other schools as well around Ontario. Like the other schools don't have. There's a couple wrestlers that have ventured out and whatnot, but HPW seems to like almost be everywhere. And it's nuts to think about a school in Ontario being like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and honestly, Ontario, in my opinion, is actually rich with, quite a few good schools out there. And that's good to see. And like all of them flourishing and getting talent in different places, different styles, everything like that. Now, with these shows that you've got coming up, actually kind of a combo question between the shows you've got coming up and anything that may pop up in the future. Is there anyone new you're about to face kind of for the first time? Or are there any kind of people out there that you'd really like to check off your list in the next year?
There are. Am I wrestling anyone new? Nothing new yet as far as I know. Like I think MCW, I'm just doing a Rumble, so that's a Rumble.
Yeah.
PWO, I have wrestled Empire and before, so I haven't wrestled anybody new yet. But like the guys that I haven't had wrestle yet. Like Holden Albright, I haven't wrestled with. I want to have a match with John Greed.
Yeah.
I would like to have a match. I don't think I have a match with Matt Cash yet, so that'll be something to kind of do and do that kind of hardcore style wrestling.
Punch him right in his fucking face. He loves it.
Yeah, like there's just a bunch of people that I haven't got the chance to wrestle yet, and I want to. So we'll see what happens. If not, maybe I'll just book them on SKM and I can wrestle them myself.
There you go. Don't be that guy. You're better than that.
No. I don't even want to wrestle my own shows. It's just like, fuck.
Oh, well, you got it. Everybody knows the work you put into it. And I mean, you got it. You just got it. You can't have your own, especially at your age. Like if you're older and you're running shows, I get it if that's like your thing. Like when I get into my 40s, which is only a few years around the corner, I want to run shows and I don't want to be on them. But like when you're younger, totally understandable. Be on your shows, man. Get your reps in, get your shit in.
Well, originally I wasn't going to be on my shows. It says like rather not, because we have had, when we were starting running shows, people have said like, oh, these guys are just going to book their friends and they're just booking them for themselves and blah, blah, all this stuff. So I said, I'm not going to wrestle on my shows just for that fact. But then Shane's like, I want to watch you wrestle on the show. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it like 1 or 2 times. But like, and then I end up just.
And do you guys have any plans coming up for a show? Like,
we have been in talks with a couple of things. Nothing has been official yet. We're just kind of waiting to see what's happening because this 4th wave coming and
we never know.
This 4th wave coming, we might be going into a lockdown again. But the numbers how they're showing, most likely they're looking like that. Plus the election coming up that they just announced. Like we were just kind of waiting to see. what happened. We might have
Yeah.
a couple things, but if they do pop up, we'll definitely announce them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the meantime, though, we'll wrap things up here for this week. Tell everybody where the fuck they can find you at.
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. They are all under Scumbag Yates. I haven't been posting a lot of stuff yet because waiting for the moving into the new place. But as soon as I move in, you'll be seeing a lot more stuff popping up.
Well, there you go. And as always, you can find me at PD Skillz Show. Same thing, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the same thing. And as always, support is always appreciated when you guys get my wonderful t-shirts that are down here. And yeah, this is the beautiful Scumbag Yates. And as always, I'm PD Skillz. You're not. And I'll see you next week. We're out.
Peace.